And so after 21 heats, we're down to the final 96. We saw the last 12 heats tonight, and Kevin, some great runs.
Yeah, very much so. Some surprises. We got out of jail with Clare's Rocket. There was plenty of favourites obliging, and yeah, a lot of big guns coming to the fore. DROOPYS Roddick was very, very impressive. If he can keep starting the way he's starting, who knows, Pat Buckley might just be able to get his name engraved in the crown this year.
Of course, a certain Ballydyle Honey went fastest. She was really at her best tonight.
Yeah, Graham's dogs were flying. I know he was unfortunate with Clare's Rocket, but he found a lot of trouble with Graham Holland, Pat Buckley, Owen McKenna. All the kennels are really, really in top flying form, and my father's sneaking in under the radar too.
Absolutely. I believe on the subject of Graham Holland, he's 16 entries, 16 through. Not a bad record.
I'd say that must be a record. That has to. I've never seen that before. I know we've had plenty of entries before, but 16 entered and 16 through a first round of a derby is some going.
Unbelievable. We'll start off the opening heat tonight, heat 10, and it went to FARLOE Joe. He was the favourite, turned second, but had to wait for his chance to get to the front. Trap 4 Hovex Blaze really ran him to the end.
Yeah, put him to the pin of his collar, all right. We saw great money for FARLOE Joey, one of the best back dogs in the opening round, and Owen's kennel in flying form, and FARLOE Joey was heavily punted on course as well. Yeah, going into third bend, it was a little bit dubious, but he came through in fine style. Hovex Blaze showed cracking early pace for Graham Holland. I'm pretty sure both connections there will be very, very happy to qualify. Kepler 9 had to do it the hard way, but he's in the next round too.
And a good old comparing him behind Athboy Bounty ran well. He's October 12, he's getting on 4 years of age, ran well.
Yeah, and you love to see those little stories going far as well, and hopefully we can get a couple of them through. But as you said, Athboy Bounty ran very well, won well last time out and followed that on, but Paul Ellis, he went close here before with FARLOE Blitz, and FARLOE Joy done a nice job tonight.
The aforementioned Graham Holland was in the headlines in heat 11, the second of our night. Mildeen Puma went agonisingly close in the corner of Cullen, but tonight the step back to 550 yards, no problem to him, flashed at a box, it was always in charge. Okay, the shut the back door dog closed on him to the second bend, but once Mildeen Puma was in front, he was always going to kick on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's the 575 track record holder here, so stamina's not going to be an issue. As you said, he ran up the Cork Cullen, so stamina's not an issue. Once he's in front, he's going to be a hard dog to beat. Ran very, very well. Shut the back door, I think the matches will be just happy to see him get round the bend cleanly tonight. He's been in the wars in recent weeks, and hopefully his confidence will step on. I was impressed with him tonight. He ran a very, very good race in defeat.
Indeed, BALLYMAC Belle back in third, also running well. On to heat 12 here tonight. Lenson Rocky came from behind, off the pace, 550 yards. First time over the trip. We were worried about his stamina. He's been running over sprint distances before that in the English Derby. Well, it didn't seem to be getting home fully, but tonight came from behind the pace. It was a thrilling contest over just a length and a half separating the first 5 home.
Yeah, up until that point, that was heat 12. He was the most impressive dog for me at that point, including Thursday night's heats. Got trouble at the first, got trouble at the third, got checked going down the back. Didn't think he'd come through to win, and he did. He was very, very impressive. SKYWALKER Manor lost little in defeat. We know what his game is about. He's got great early pace, winner of the Laurels. It was a cracking heat. Kerr Castle gone through as well. Leave It Dawn, Must Be Jack. The big 5 went through, which is always a nice thing to see. I wouldn't worry about the time. Scrappy 29 and 98, but it was a bit of a messy race.
Indeed, all the first 5 home, there was things to be taken out about their performances. They all ran reasonably well in defeat, let's say, after Lenson Rocky.
Yeah, definitely, but Rocky was the one to take over for me. How much trouble he endured during that race to still manage to win, it was a very taken performance.
Moving on, heat 13, unlucky for some. Was lucky for backers of SKYWALKER Rory, however. With JT Jet, we knew he wasn't going to be 100%. It was no surprise to see SKYWALKER Rory actually going off favourite. He justified favouritism, but I'd say your father and yourself more than happy with JT Jet.
Over the moon. Over the moon. He's had one trial and a handful of gallops. Look, his trial wasn't great, and there was no setback or anything, but he just needed fitness, and we just opted out of the trial here last week on Thursday night, so we were hoping it would pay a dividend to him in the long run. Fingers crossed it will, but take nothing away from SKYWALKER Rory, 29.65 tonight, and a sensational performance. The change of seed and looks to have worked a treat on him. But yeah, I was absolutely thrilled with JT Jet, to be honest. I think he'll improve no end for the run, and I'm just glad to see him get a good run under his belt.
Of course, plenty of people will have been taken by SKYWALKER Rory. He is a professional, of course. He has a classic success already under his belt. He's a dog that could certainly go a long way in this derby.
Yeah, winner of the Ledger, and he ran up the Easter Cup behind JT Jet. There was only, I think, a length and a half, 2 lengths between them at that night, so there's not much between the two dogs. You'd also say FARLOE Rumble ran very, very well. Derby finalist last year, got no luck in running early on. That probably seems to be a small Achilles heel of his. He doesn't have that blistering early pace, but stayed on very, very strongly tonight. And look, the track record holder TYRUR Van Gaal, he's gone through, and Tom O'Neill's Ballyhooly Henry, so the big 5 in that heat all gone through as well.
Yeah, indeed, great to see them all going through, and a relatively trouble-free race apart from the opening corner, but nothing, as we said, the other night. No serious problems for any dogs. Looking on now to heat 14, and here we see the aforementioned DROOPYS Roddick, of course, second English Derby, the Kirby Memorial winner. It was facile. It was just easy. Popped out, led all. If he keeps trapping like that, it's going to take a good one to beat him.
Yeah, Ballydyle only done the fastest time, but for me, Roddick was, I was very, very taken. This dog, he was a talking dog all of his career, but from the semi-final English Derby, the final English Derby, to Dundalk International, and here tonight, he really has lived up to it for me. I think he's been come on leaps and bounds, and I can now understand why Pat Buckley holds him in such high esteem. He'd won very early on. He went in Enniscorthy, he went favourite English Derby, and people, I suppose, were looking to knock him early on. He'd never really blown me away until his last 4 runs, and each run he's getting better. For me, he's definitely in the top 2 or 3 of the best fancied runners in the competition. I think I'm sure many people will get involved in him anti-post. JT Dutch, JT Jet's brother, just didn't really run the bends great tonight. Didn't get away well. Collided with one early on, but once Roddick pinged out like that and led, there was never going to be anything coming from behind him.
Bullmarker again showed plenty of promise in defeat in second, but he's going to have to get his trapping in order.
Yeah, definitely. A dog with a bright future, and I'm sure we'll be talking about him in next year's Derby as well. But if he can get his trapping boots in order, Knockglass Billy, son of Knockglass Billy, and he had great early pace, so you'd imagine the early pace should be coming to him, but he has to learn how to trap properly.
Heat 15, a strange sort of a contest. Blue Cafu, in fairness, made it his own. He only held on in the finish. DROOPYS T finished like a train for Robert Gleeson, and she was subject to strong support. DROOPYS 9 pulled up into the corner. Maybe something slightly amiss with him, but it came down to Blue Cafu and DROOPYS T. An exciting finish, but Blue Cafu was always going to hold on, I suppose. Yeah,
another one of those stories. Blue Cafu, you have to say what a ground he's been for connections, whether it be Ireland, England, Scotland. They'll go on anywhere there's racing, they'll go with him, and he's always done himself justice, and I was delighted to see him out and gone. I'd love to see his sectional. He really came away well. DROOPYS 9, as you said, just easing going into the opening bend, but DROOPYS T was flying. I'm not going to lie, I'm very good friends with Robert Gleeson, but I wanted Blue Cafu to win because, like I said, he's been a great dog. 53 races there tonight, his 12th win, and all in the highest calibre races, and never runs a bad race, and I was delighted for connections, to be honest.
Indeed, and behind them, 2 trial stick winners, VARRA Sailor and DROOPYS Ford going through. Good to see the trial stick winners getting their turn in the next round. Moving on, heat 16, and this went to Shane Boy Freddie. It was all about early speed for Shane Boy Freddie, perfectly housed in the red rails, and he made the most of it, winning at 29.96. A UK runner coming out in front. I think that's good for the competition. I wish we'd seen more of them over, but it's great to see Shane Boy coming out for the Brits, as we say.
Yeah, definitely. And Kevin Boone, couldn't speak highly of the man. We met him plenty of times when we were over in Wimbledon with JT Jet, and was one of the first over to congratulate us, and was always more than welcoming. And I was delighted to see Kevin with a winner, and he's a lovely man. And Boylesports Duke ran well in defeat. It was as good a run as he's done in a while, so he looks to be stepping forward. He'll need to come on again, but yeah, like you said, we love to see the UK dogs coming over here, and when they get a winner as well, it just adds to it, and hopefully for the years to come they'll bring more and more, because we do want to see the best dogs competing in these competitions. But it was a nice heat. Jip Rossetti, I'm sure for Peter Cronin, will come on as well. He's much better than what we saw tonight. But yeah, nice win for Shane Boy Freddie, and pleased with Boylesports Duke in defeat.
Key with Jip Rossetti was he took that bumper too early, didn't get the corner. Moving on, heat 17, and here we saw Dr. Zhivago. We all know he can run to a corner. He's a 4:30 in Kilkenny. He's a 3:38 here for the 550 in a trial. I'd say he did a quick enough split again tonight. He's a professional starter. We knew he wanted a fence, but he got there, and well, he turned this one into a bit of a procession in 29.78. So the eye it looked like he was going quicker, but the track perhaps running still a little bit dead at that point.
Yeah, definitely. But I was delighted for Dr. Zhivago to win for the Flanagans. He's got cracking early pace. I've seen plenty of this dog running in my home track in Kilkenny, and the big question was, would he transfer it over his farm from Kilkenny to Shelbourne? He proved it in his trial. He proved it tonight. That dog would prefer a more inside draw. If he gets 1 or 2, if you draw him, you're going to need a flying start to lead him. He's got exceptional early pace, and he's a dog that could go a long way in the competition. He's proven it now in his trial, and tonight he stays the 550, and trust me, it's going to take a serious one to lead him. He's got exceptional early pace. Bornastown's a dog that ran really well for Roy de won the Derby last year. Came in very inexperienced. Hasn't really produced it so far this year, but he's a nice run in Cork recently, and he's starting to come to the fruition as well. He's a very fast dog with good early pace as well, and he could go a couple of rounds too.
Of course, he's not quite 3 years of age yet, so as we say, if he did run into a bit of form with an inside draw, he's another dog that could run very well indeed.
Yeah, definitely Avanta chick for the Dowlings as well. A bitch that lacks a yard of early pace. She stays on very strongly. She managed to get her nose through NEWLAWN Simon as well for the Kylies. But yeah, Dr. Zhivago, anyone looking for an early pace starter, a big price, he's your one.
Indeed, early in the week you went even money about Ballydoyle Honey. It wasn't looking a great idea at the first bend tonight. She went around close second to Burgess Popeye, who is a noted good starter, but it was all over from the start, really.
Well, sure, she's not quoted as one of being the best bitch, well, one of the best bitches we've ever had over here for no reason. She hasn't started in any of her recent runs, and Graham got her out tonight. When she turned second, I wrote down the result at the second bend. It was a matter of how far and what would be the time. 29.49, the fastest at a whole derby. She came into the derby last year, and we thought she could go all the way. There was plenty of people knocking her, saying that she wasn't doing it against the dogs. She's proven it now tonight. She can. The biggest thing for her is she needs to keep starting like that, keep herself out of trouble. If she stays out of trouble, she's as fast as anything in the competition. But no, a very, very nice win tonight. Cost us a few quid though. Absolutely,
and we're all delighted to hear that. Yeah. Moving on, Heat 19, Mucho Macho Man. Huh? He's a great name, great for the commentator, and he was great for the punters tonight. He's a professional sort of dog. He starts, he stays, he does it all. And 29.73, there was nothing wrong with the run. And an eye-catching run by Highview Madison in second.
Yeah, definitely. He'd go through a brick wall for you. He wears his heart on his sleeve, Mucho Macho Man. He tries so hard. Can be his downfall at times. He can be a bit too eager at the boxes and can on occasion miss the break, but he was in the fight of the Champion Stakes last week. He's won in his round of the Derby tonight, and a decent heat as well. Kilgraney June, a very fast bitch who I'm a big fan of. As you said there, Highview Madison running very well for Jerry Merriman in behind, but Mucho Macho Man, if he can keep starting like he did tonight, he's another one that can go a couple of rounds, and I'm delighted for Sean Hagan, a lovely man, and I'm sure he had a few quid on tonight himself.
Yeah, I thought Roxanne Barkley actually ran well to be third. A dog that's not noted as a strong steer. Once he was led, I thought he might have fallen away a bit easier, but he stayed on well for third, and he could be one to keep an eye on a decent price in the next round.
Yeah, definitely. But Kilgraney June, anyone looking for a big price runner as well, she's a very, very fast bitch, very capable for Thomas Buggy, and I wouldn't put anyone off her either.
Yeah. On so to Heat 20, and here we saw Trade Freddie landing the biggest shock of the round, perhaps, with Claire's Rocket at 5-1 on course, getting chinned. A missed start, trap 3 moved wide, a couple of bumps early. He ran very well to get second.
Yeah, he did, but we got out of jail big time on this one. It was a horrible night up until this point, and I'd say this one just saved our bacon, really. Trade Freddie, 4 wide seeds in one heat. It was always potentially a banana skin, and it proved to be. I talked to Graham walking out. He didn't seem in any way flustered. He was delighted with his dog, the way his dog ran. Claire's Rocket, he'll still be favoured. There's no question about that. I wouldn't be one to knock him, put him in 6 and ask any of the other connections. No one will want to meet him again next week. He lost little in defeat, stayed on well down the back, and came from behind. Everyone has said, what would he be like when he is behind? We saw it tonight, and he stuck to his guns very well. But you have to say, Trade Freddie, hats off to the two. He's a Buckley team, ran very, very well.
Gutsy run indeed. And Sonic ran an eye-catching race again. He was third. If he had driven the corner, he'd have been very close to winning this race. Just got a bump on the corner from the Mount Taylor Ridge, lost a good bit of ground but flew home again. He's a precocious young talent, this dog.
He is. He was the one that we saw the big money for after his performance here last week. 66 as he was at that time. He won't get any colour that, and back-to-back big runs now again. He's improving every week.
So Claire's Rocket's going to be 12-1 now for outright success?
Definitely not. Definitely.
Still the one to beat.
Still the one to beat without question, yeah.
On to the final heat of the round, and this was a strange contest, a bit of a muddling affair. In the end, Slippery Thelma made the most of an ideal draw on the rail, and yet another winner for Graham Holland. Yeah,
another winner for Graham Holland. As you said, he's been absolutely flying. 16 in, 16 through. Slippery Thelma made the most of a draw. Tyre Shukra I thought was very unlucky there. I wanted to see him go around the bend and see what he was going to do. He's a pup I have an awful lot of faith in. I think he's a very, very fast dog. Delighted that 5 went through there, and he has gone through. I can't wait to see him next week. 30-11, a bit sluggish on the time, but a messy first bend, and that probably caused to it.
Indeed. So we have seen the Derby winner. Name it.
With the Hennessy hat on, I'm going to say JT Jet, but no, Droopy's Roddick for me I think was very, very impressive, and I wouldn't mind having a few quid in him.
Indeed. Well, we have it all to look forward to again next week. 96 runners still there, so join us next week for the second round of the Boylesports Irish Derby. It's an occasion not to be missed.